If you didn't know, Nokia has Android, no more Microsoft. So it's a Finnish startup, actually a Chinese brand behind it. And in my hands I've got a Nokia 3 series model. It's an entry model, the cheapest one. It's plastic, it's got Android up there, so if you're interested, check my experiences. As I said, the frame of this Nokia is plastic, and it feels plastic in hand, but it won't bend. It's a tightly made device, and the best thing is that on the front you got a nice looking cover glass. It's very nice under the fingers, the feeling is just fine, and the edges of the screen are bended a little bit, which was the case on Nokia Lumia before. Nokia always had a great screen cover, and if you turn on the screen, it looks very nice, so you get a nice screen on a budget device. The device is thin in profile and it feels good in hand. If you place it in your pocket, you won't feel it. It's not too big, but it's not the smallest device for the 5-inch display I've seen. Compared to LG Q6, as you can see, this is a 5.5-inch display and this is a 5-inch display. So 0.5 inches more and the same size. Nokia 3 is not that slippery in hand like Nokia 5. This is a plastic casing. Side keys on Nokia 3 are bumped up enough, so it's very precise to open up the device. Also, it features virtual keys below the screen, but they're not lightened, so you can't see them, but you can feel them. They vibrate a little bit. You have 3 keys below the screen. 5-inch IPS display is covered with very nice glass, as I said before. So it has almost 300 ppi pixel density, which is just good enough, and the colors and everything on this display, they look pretty nice. You know, with a budget device you get an awesome display, I think. It's got nice viewing angles, and the keyboard on this device is native Google Android keyboard, which is not actually the best keyboard I've seen. LG and Samsung have a lot better keyboards, especially for my bigger fingers. Android Nougat 0.7 comes here with native Google apps. You don't get a Nokia upgrade here, so you can draw all these fast applications and settings here. They don't look very attractive, it's just stock Android, and you can pull up the menu up from here. Chipset built inside is a quad-core 1.7 GHz Cortex-A53, which is not a very powerful chipset. It's good for daily usage. It didn't freeze while I was using it, but if you install a bunch of applications, if you're going to update the applications, play games, it might slow down a little bit and the battery is going to drain faster than it did before, so it won't be for advanced users. You can also play some games on this device, but nothing spectacular. The camera application starts up in just a second and you can snap images instantaneously. If you want to switch to video, it's very easy to switch. It has a same camera on the front and on the back. It's an 8 megapixel with f2.0 aperture. Photos from the rear camera look pretty good. They're very clean, they look nice. For most of the situations you'll be using them. In low light conditions, it'll be harder to get clean photos because the exposition is a bit longer, so you'll need to hold your hand steadily to get a clean photo. Most photos will be blurry in low light. Video from the rear camera in daylight looks pretty good stabilized. It's clean, it doesn't have noise, but it's not a full HD 1080p, it's a HD 720p resolution. In low light, video is pretty shaky, but there isn't much noise, so it's usable if you hold your hand steadily. In daylight, front camera will give really nice and clean photos for selfies, so it's a really good front camera. In low light conditions, camera doesn't focus well and it doesn't have some sensor, so forget about clean photos, they're being blurry most of the time in low light. Video is the same quality as photos, it's just in HD resolution, 720p. In daylight, it's pretty clean, it looks nice, it's well stabilized, but in low light, it's not really usable. The speaker is right below here and goes up to 83 decibels, which is pretty good for this cheap device. It's a loud speaker and it has good resonance. even if you connect better headphones, the sound will still be pretty good. So the disadvantages of Nokia 3. First, the battery. If you fill it up to 100%, even if you don't use the device, after a day and a half, the battery will drain all the way. And if you use like advanced applications, if you use phone calls, messages, internet, use the camera, it's gonna last for half a day, maybe a little bit more. So the battery is not really the best thing on this device. Not a very powerful chipset. It's good for daily usage, but nothing spectacular. Nokia 3 will be great for those who want a basic smartphone with just a nice screen, a nice looking body. Of course, it'll always be plastic when it's cheap. You can't avoid that. It's thin, it feels good in hands. You know, for this price, I think this is just a good model. Although the weaker chipset, not spectacular cameras and stuff like that will not satisfy a bit more enthusiastic users. Thank you guys for watching. Hope I helped you with this review, and see you in some other.